Welcome back to another episode of the Jackrabbit Illustrated podcast. We're excited to have you join us today. Before we dive in, we'd like to thank our sponsors who help make this all possible. First off, a great big thank you to our title sponsor again for 2024, the Kubota dealers of South Dakota. Whether it's tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, construction, or farm equipment, Kubota's got you covered. With 9 convenient locations across the state of South Dakota and 1 in northwest Iowa, there's always a Kubota dealer nearby. Stop by your local Kubota dealer and see all they have to offer. All A-Team shows are sponsored this year by Culver's of Brookings and Watertown, home of the Butterburger, fried cheese curds, signature root beer, and world-famous custard. Culver's, welcome to delicious. Next, we'd like to recognize the support of our other A-Team podcast sponsors. Cubby Sports Bar and Grill, the best sports bar in South Dakota and home to the Jimmy Rogers Radio Show. Northwestern Mutual Wealth Management, see them for all your retirement and life insurance needs. And the Jackrabbit Former Players Association. And now, here is the A-Team.
And welcome back. The sun did rise this morning after everyone said all was lost last night. I shouldn't say everyone, a few folks, right? Giving too much noise to the few. Jake, Chad, how the heck you guys doing?
Doing good. Can't complain.
I'm a little tired today. Cleaning out the shop to get it sprayed with spray foam, and I've been doing a lot of work on that the past few days. That's all.
Okay. And Jake, if you didn't know, in the last couple of years, Chad has built a shop by himself.
My wife helped.
Well, his wife helped, yeah. But by himself, everything. So hand dug the trenches and everything, poured the cement. Just a badass, and has done it all by himself for the most part.
Even as fat as I am, and you should see the work that Ben did on his new patio. That's looking pretty sick. He did a great job stamping it and all that. So
our Ben,
Ben, our Ben. He poured a really nice patio, 4 yards of concrete, I think he said, or 6 maybe.
He knows how to do that? No way.
He's an engineer. He can do anything. He drives trains.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, first off, we got to thank Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. You may have noticed them, the new logo up by the scoreboard on the big screen at the stadium yesterday, along with, the sideline markers at the game, all of the Kubota side-by-sides that are zooming around campus and helping out with game day stuff. Kubota's everywhere. We know that. And there are 10 locations across South Dakota and 1 in Iowa to help you get the Kubota that you need. So Chad and I have the BX 2680s that help us on our acreage. Maybe that's too much for you. Maybe you just need a lawnmower. They can do that too. Jake needs a side-by-side. Maybe you're a farmer or rancher that needs a bigger tractor. Or maybe you're into the construction business and need something there that's going to help you. So stop by one of those Kubota dealers and they'll get you hooked up. Also, have to thank Culver's. And man alive, I was talking to someone the other day and they have never been to Culver's. So it was wonderful.
Are they not from the Midwest?
No, they just have never been. And so it was wonderful just telling them about a Butterburger and how great it is. Just like, we always hear about these In-N-Out burgers and Whataburgers and things like that. But man, we need to brag more about how great Culver's is. And 2 of the best are in Brookings and Watertown. Thank you, Culver's of Brookings and Watertown, for your sponsorship, your Butterburgers, your curds, your concrete mixers, your chicken strips. Jake, I think that's what you said, right? It was chicken strips. Yep. So
that's the daughters.
Okay. Okay. There we go. Zach Zenner, on the healthy eating train, he always talks to chicken strips. There we go. That's what he said. That's his go-to for the protein. Yep. All right.
we stopped in before the game. I got a concrete mixer, and it was a Snickers. Pretty good. Wife got like a root beer float, and it was pretty tasty. There was a lot of people there because it was parents' weekend. So.
Yeah. So, all right. So, fellas, I did not make it to Brookings this weekend. We had stuff going on here. How was it? How was Parents Weekend? How was the Beef Bowl? How was Hall of Fame weekend? What was Brookings like?
It was pretty packed.
It was very packed. It was awesome. It was great.
Yeah. How was the tailgating atmosphere? All of that. Were there steers on the field this year?
The steers were out by the Sanford Athletic Jackrabbit Athletic Center. That's Jack.
Okay.
They
Okay.
were out
Yeah.
a pen out there, and
Yeah.
apparently Tucker Large's mom's niece or cousin. I think mom's cousin. So his second cousin. One of the steers was hers. So got to meet them. Got a picture with Tucker Large's mom.
Hey, I saw the
in front of
picture.
the steers.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that was pretty cool.
Chad,
Yeah.
you and the moms, man. You and the moms just always hanging out.
It's funny because I was talking to what's that? Oh, it's
It was
the hat.
you were wearing yesterday.
you
The hat
know,
you were wearing.
It's funny because it's like a normal hat, only bigger, right?
Yeah.
And Jake, I know you didn't have your kids. Did you get to wander around a little bit?
Yeah, I know it's good. I said this probably 25 times yesterday, and so it sounds like I've told this to everybody, and I truly believe it. It is so cool to see what that experience is anymore. Again, looking back, kind of as a player, you don't see that. You kind of come and go, and almost to my fault. When I used to come in the past, the last couple of years, you know where you're going to park, you know which tailgate you're going to go to, and that's where you go. And now that I live in Brookings, it was awesome. I actually was able to drive in with a friend that lives down the road. My wife said, "I'll take the kids. You go a little early and tailgate and enjoy the day." So I rode up with him. I got to experience the Maderi parking waiting scenario. I don't really want to get into it, obviously, but I got to experience it. And to me, that's cool. I mean, the excitement, and I mean, it was 101, and people had flags and tents and things set up. It is just so cool to see that. And then actually from like the experience of some of the Augie guys that I know, like I said, I have some coworkers that played football at Augie, got to spend some good time with them. They came with me to a game. I think that was in 2018. We were talking about it, one of a playoff game, but it was, later playoff game type thing where crowds were a little small, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is great." I mean, they were just blown away by the experience, by just the noise, the culture, everything that's going on there. It is really cool. I just can't speak that enough, how great that tailgating is anymore. And again, credit to the fans. Like, you win games, the fans get excited, people get excited about what we're doing. You got to give credit to the people that put the time and energy in, and it's just really fun to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm sorry I missed it. I love the Beef Bowl. Just didn't work out this year. So,
But
Corey
you really
Mensch,
had to. Oh, go ahead.
Corey Mensch says the tailgating food was amazing all over the place again.
Oh yeah,
Corey, I've only ever seen you inside the stadium, so I don't think you actually tailgate. You don't exist outside at tailgating, so I don't know what you're talking about, man.
He came over and donated to the Alex's Lemonade stand and got a few pudding shots for me when I was standing at the Parrot tailgate.
The week I'm not
There you
there,
go.
Corey shows up. All right.
runs around.
Got it.
It was cool. I got to see Jake at tailgating. He came over and
Yeah.
said hi.
They did, and made
Unfortunately,
my
I
way
think
to
I was
book
the
club.
only one standing there besides you.
That's I was wondering. That's where it was. I mean, I walked over there and I saw 15 people I knew, either from Augie or Sioux Falls or Brookings. And again, just fun. Like, that's just so cool. Like, the way that people get excited about this. It's just really cool.
And so, Jake, when you would come up and watch your brother play, Mike, right? You're in high school and you'd come up. Could you have imagined what this has morphed into? Because I cannot, because I was in that backyard, before the softball field was there, and it was $5 to park, and it was the Wild Wild West, and we just pulled in, and people were falling through camper vents, and just things like that. Like, I can't imagine. It was like I could never have imagined what it is. Could you, as a high school student at that point, just coming up to cheer on your brother? Like,
I still remember it was one of the early games. I mean, it was probably this, September, October, early season games coming up and when I was in high school, I watched my brother, and my parents had bought a tailgate. We still have the sign hanging on our front porch, my parents in small town Mount Vernon, have it, this spot reserved for Stefan. The only year we had a tailgating spot, hindsight's 2020. We should have kept it. Would have been great by now. But there was 10 other spots full of people. I mean, it was barely anything, I think, at that time. And it was, you still had the trees still back then, just again, this was probably 2005, 2006. And so to where it is now, where you're walking around and there's trailers with like all sorts of great graphics, national championships around, there's flags everywhere. I mean, it is so cool to see that. And like I said, some of those Augustana guys that I'm really close with and have gone to Nebraska games, gone to Iowa games, they're like, this is cool. This is great. This is like big time. I mean, this is obviously to a little lesser degree with the attendance, but I mean, they were very impressed with it. I think it's a credit to the fans and obviously the success. Coach Stig came over, and he's always so modest. He comes to our former players group every week, and he goes, this is special. This is special about the guys, because he loves just seeing the former players, and he goes, thanks to you guys for doing this. And I'm like, Stig, look around you. It's more than us, man. There's thousands of people here. This is awesome across the board. And it really is. It's just cool.
Awesome. Sorry, go ahead, Chad.
That's fine. I was just going to say, you watched it at home. You had to hear the crowd a little bit on that first series. I mean, we started out the game in the only way that could be pretty much the worst way possible. And the crowd, I think it was Brendan said with Borg, he's like, I think Augustana got hit like a Mack truck with the crowd, because that first quarter for sure, they were not ready for 19,000 screaming people.
Yeah,
and the crowd definitely made a difference, and the students, man, like, kudos. 100%. You guys keep showing up. You guys make a difference, and the band's loud. That's awesome. The atmosphere is excellent. It's a little smaller than maybe an FBS school, but it's not a lot quieter. When that place is packing rocking, it is awesome.
Yeah, and what did Zimmer say in an article this week? The most fans that Augie played against last year was 5,000 in the key to the city. So again, you got to think of that 5,000 to 20,000, almost 20,000. There's just it's just so cool to kind of see that experience and how that impacts the game, right? I mean. The energy, the adrenaline. I still remember playing in those big FBS games, and it's like all those people give you adrenaline. You don't get tired. And like we can provide that now. I mean, we provide that to our guys now with that atmosphere. So keep selling it out. I can't encourage people enough. Come November when we're playing Southern Illinois, come to the game. We need everybody coming all year long, because that is a big difference maker.
Yep. Yeah, indeed. And where else? I mean, there's nowhere else in South Dakota where you get 19,376 people into one spot, right? Like screaming, making noise, all that. Like, that's cool. And I did say this, because on the Midco broadcast, they did keep showing the Augie fans, because there was a lot of them, and what a cool experience for them. I'm glad, Jake, your friends had fun, and hopefully they'll come back, at some point for just another regular game, whether it's playoffs or that Southern Illinois game later in the season, because it's going to take casual fans like that to sell out those November games, to sell out the playoff games, just because it is cold. Like, it's going to take people that love football, that are casual Jackrabbit fans, but had a great experience at a game in September, at the Beef Bowl, things like that. So
couldn't agree more.
Yeah. You asked Chad what it sounded like and looked like on Midco. It was awesome. Jailson and Mason Lyseth did a good job of just letting the noise kind of play there. When they would go to the end zone camera, I haven't watched a Midco broadcast from home in a long time at Dana J. The camera shook like crazy because it's above the student section.
Yep.
And it just wobbled like nuts. Like it was hard to kind of watch, actually. So they didn't stay there for long, luckily. But that was cool to see, like, just the students for making the camera stuff shake so bad up there. So good on them. Speaking of Mason does a great job. Mason Lyseth.
Does he?
Yeah.
Does he? Yeah,
he sounded real good, I thought.
Yeah,
that's good. I've actually given him a hard time the last couple of weeks at tailgate. I always try to get him to have a beer or two, and he goes, "Nah, I got to go on. I got to go on TV here." I was like, "It'd probably make you better, Mason. Come on." But he's always out there, full on suit. I mean, it was hot there yesterday. He's got a full on suit at tailgate and come out and saying hi. I'm like, man, good for you.
Speaking of hot, could we do the fat kids in the crowd a favor and put the blackout on the last color game of the year, please? Good Lord, I died.
Oh man, you know what? I was pushing back against Brendan all week, saying the black jerseys aren't cursed. And I don't know. I'm ready to just retire them. Let's take a break. Let's just take a break for a year and do it white out at home and see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's just take a break from the blackout. So that's Dallas, perfect. There we go.
Awesome.
Dallas is flying somewhere.
Hey, let's take just a short bit and talk about that. How cool is it that Dallas could be there? His dad getting honored. His dad's an awesome person. If you've ever met him, he was an amazing player. You go back and watch some of the highlights with what Tyler did with him. Because they got a video, not just audio.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie's salt of the earth, and it couldn't be more well deserved than him. And I'm just excited for that family. I think Hudson enjoyed his time, even though he's his typical stoic teenager. When I was trying to ask him a few questions, he's like one word answers. I was like, "How's it going? Good. You having fun? Yeah." I was like, "You're gonna be taller. You're gonna get taller before you graduate." Probably. I was like, "Oh yeah. Your dad's taller and your grandpa's taller, so probably, yeah."
Quit asking dumb questions, Chad.
Well, I guess so. Yeah.
Gosh,
I tried to push a little bit of the blue and yellow on him. It was good. I made sure to have some of those comments. So
yeah, very cool. Very cool. That's good.
Yeah, and I will say, obviously Dallas and his family, but also Ryan Berry. Give a good call out to him. I got a chance to say hi to him up in the stadium and in the crowd after the induction or whatever you want to say at halftime there. And I think he was a senior when I was a freshman. And again, there's you look back at Iowa State, there's definitely some of those games, but then just a great guy, a great leader. Kyle Manette, he's a neighbor of mine here in Brookings, and he went to the ceremony, and he goes, just that guy and that family and what he's done is just something to be proud of. I think that's the type of guy that SDSU produces that, Coach Stig is proud of, the university should be proud of. Just a great guy, great leader, great player. Good shout out to him for his career as well.
Yeah. Did your brother or Glenn Fox or Koshart or any of those guys make it back for it? Or?
Yeah, so my brother was not able to come. He's not too far away, but he had kid things. You get 4 kids, there's just always something.
Yep.
Yeah. So a lot of those guys, I mean, you had quite a few former players. I know Koshart's a little ways away now, and Glenn was back at one of our. Well, he was obviously in Frisco. So yeah, it's he's had some good support, I think, from some of that era of guys that played with him, and some of those good groups in 07, 06, 05 when we were. I mean, those are kind of the grind days, like you're
the transition groups.
Yeah, the transition group. So I mean, there was a couple of years you're not even eligible for playoffs, So you got to give those guys credit. It's always fun to talk to them and kind of their experience.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Are we ready to actually talk about the game? Is there anything else pregame or outside of the game we want to hit on?
No, but I do have a one-word comment about the game.
Oh, goodness.
And that's what everybody else has been saying.
All right.
Underwhelming.
Yep. Kind of blah.
Underwhelming.
Yep. I think that is a good word. I think, hold on. I think we need to delineate first. Uninspired. We need to delineate, though, between the offense and the defense.
Well, I thought that was great. Yeah,
that was a great performance by the defense, in my opinion.
But there was some stupid things that happened on defense.
Sure.
Some penalties and stuff.
Yep.
Clean that up.
Well,
so you don't get all your flowers. You get a dozen, not 2.
I'll say it's a different game. And again, whether it's not a pro or a con, 57 plays Augie ran. I mean, so it was a much different game than what we've seen that pace the last couple of games. So, I mean, from a defensive standpoint, I remember when we were playing, when you get to those 80, 90 play games, I mean, that's a grind for those guys. Now, we obviously have some depth and rotate in, but I think that was something that, again, hats off to the defense and the way they stepped up. But it's a different energy when you're only seeing 57 snaps,
Yep. But, defensively, again, Augie wants to run the ball this year. They have a great back. 24 total rushing yards. I mean, our run defense this year, we can talk about the pass rush, and they were great this week. 24 rushing yards again. Anytime, I don't care what level of opponent you're playing. I mean, you could quarterback sneak at every play and get more than 24 yards if you wanted, right, in a game. So good on them. Like that's.
And that guy was a stud. He was good.
Yeah. The different.
You could tell he was a good runner.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was fun. Speaking of pass rush, we asked in our what to watch for a pass rush to show up, and one of the specific matchups we highlighted was Dawson Ripperda versus either of their tackles. 99 was flying around all over the field out there. Good job, Dawson. Thumbs up from me. You were terrific last night and did exactly what we needed you to do. Reese Kirschenman, hopefully you're okay. I'm not sure how bad your injury is. But man, you too, driving that tackle into the backfield, the tackle losing his balance and grabbing you, pulling you over. And when I saw him and that tackle fall into that quarterback's leg, I went, oh no. No. I thought that quarterback's leg was exploded. But he got up and walked away.
He did get up. I was very fearful at that point too, because
that's a lot of weight.
I watched it on the board too. I'm like, oh, they just both landed on him and he's down.
Yeah, that was scary. So those are my initial impressions. That's my positive. Defense and defensive line right there. Bam. Colby Humphrey. I'll let you guys talk. I don't want to take them all, but my positives are right there.
Yeah, Colby Humphrey and Claiborne looked really good too. There was other bright spots, but like you said, the pass rush coming around a little bit. That's good. We should have a little more of a pass rush against Augie potentially. I mean, they're a pretty good team though. You can see that, much like the Western Oregon team, they're going to be a real good playoff bound Division II team. They were giving it their all. They played their hearts out. Kudos to them. They played a great game. They had a great game plan. They had some stuff schemed very well on the offensive side of the ball. There were some schemes that just took our guys, and even though they were playing in the right position, they just took them out of position based on a personnel. The way a guy coming across the field with a guy behind him, and the guy takes a step left, you take a step. Next thing you know, I mean, he's behind the other guy, and there's no one to get him. Tucker Large is trying to chase him down. That's sometimes the other team just makes the plays, right? I mean, even on your best game, the other guy's got talent too. So, and I thought the defense played overall an excellent game, and they were on the field a lot. But we can't have back-to-back face masks, man. That's not acceptable. And Jimmy talked about it, not that specifically, but he talked about guys might be riding the pine if we're gonna have to reevaluate who's out on the field. Those were his words, and that's pretty strong coming from him, in my opinion. But if you're gonna have those issues, I mean, maybe somebody else is gonna play. Yeah.
Hey, I saw this. Oh, go ahead, Jake. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna, kind of my the biggest critic of a team in a game like this is going to be themselves, right? I mean, I think our players, our senior leaders, our coaches. I mean, again, everybody knows this from the college athletic standpoint, college football. They are going to analyze the heck out of that film. They're going to break down every little thing, and they're going to get better because of it. Now, again, to your point, it was uninspiring. It wasn't great, but honestly, I think just some of the comments Amar said after the game, like, we're not really meshing quite well. There's new guys. There's a lot of new things. And I think that gives them an opportunity to level set with great leaders. I mean, with a Mark and a Bach and some of those guys. Again, Mark didn't play well, but again, probably the biggest critic of that is going to be himself. And he's the type of guy that is, a great player, great person. Obviously can really perform well, reigning player of the year. So I think for him to come back from something like this is exciting for me. Plus with the caliber of our coaching staff, like I said, to put themselves in a position to, put this team in a mindset or kind of in I wouldn't say culture, but just they're going to kind of grind from this. Like Jimmy said, it was not something that they're excited about. It felt like a loss in the locker room, he said, I think in his post-game press conference. And so I think, there's going to be, I think this next week is going to be a great kind of just test for us after this.
Mm-hmm.
And again, kudos to Augie. Again, I will say that as well. Coach OJ, like I said last week, great guy, great coach. They came out like Chad said, very well. Good game plan set up for them, and I think they kind of stepped up, and they're going to be a great team in D2 this year. I think that's what we got to recognize.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of some quality things from Augie, their wide receivers were tough as heck too.
Yes,
really hung on to some balls where they got nailed, and I loved that safety. Peyton Buckley was fun to watch.
He looks good in blue and yellow.
Yeah, right? He's out of eligibility.
We're low on safeties right now.
Yeah, right? That was one of the matchups we highlighted in our What to Watch again, too. Peyton Buckley versus Mark. And I know it's, a little bit of a chess game there. But, man, Peyton Buckley flew around the field. And we've only really, when I do rants and raves, there's only been a handful of times I've given like a rave to an opposing player. That Van Der Esch, or whatever his name was, from Illinois State a handful of years ago, or 2 years ago. Yeah. He got one. And I think John Ridgway may have gotten one a couple of years ago from Illinois State too, but it's been few and far in between of players that get a rave from me during rants and raves. And I thought Peyton Buckley was awesome last night. Yeah. What a fun player for them to have. So in terms of the physicality, their receivers making these catches, Kobe Herter on the one where that receiver hung on, and then Dallas Beanham on the run play to Epperson where he knocked him out. Kudos to the refs for not getting flag happy there and trusting what they were seeing as like clean football plays. Both of those players, maybe in the past, we've seen just initial knee-jerk reaction, get a flag thrown out for targeting or for unnecessary roughness or whatever. The refs swallowed their flags on that one, their whistles, whatever, and let them play. And they were great plays. You watch the replay.
It was a clean hit.
Oh yeah, good job to Kobe. Good job to Dallas. Great plays. So yeah. What do we got? Dallas here. What's he saying? Just. I don't know. I don't know, Dallas. Zeke Vanderbaugh. But thank you, Fans Nation Network. Perfect.
That was me.
Oh, that's Chad.
I was like, we're close to the right name. I'll just look it up. So
yeah. Kobe Herter. It was good to have him back.
Yep.
Him and Durant's are going to be just fine back there. However long Reeder and Large are out. And who knows with Large if he's going to be out for any time. So he never returned to the game yesterday.
Off the field or whatever.
So we know he's already banged up. We did learn that Blake Peterson is out for the rest of the season. So that's stuff that we did learn. So that does, our defensive end room is thin. We talked about that last week. So Corey Caraway, I don't think we'll see him slide over to defensive end. He was on the Jimmy Rogers show this week. And did they joke about that him going back to defensive end for this? Yeah, they kind of joked about it, but I'm sure Kevin Brenner would play wherever the team needs him to play. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So he made a nice catch last night.
He had a real good catch.
Yeah. So good job, Kevin. What else? Amar. We got to talk about Amar. We're this far in and haven't talked about Amar. Well, you have a little bit post game. Man, I tweeted this, and this it was not meant with any disrespect towards Mark, towards Griffin, towards Gus, anyone else on the team. But I tweeted it last night during the game that through 3 games, Amar Johnson has been our best player on offense. And I believe that. He has been very good. And I'm proud of him because he has sat behind Pierre. He has sat behind Isaiah and been patient. A lot of guys of his talent level would have hit the transfer portal to be the guy. And he has not. So thank you, Amar, for sticking around. And I'm really happy and really proud of you that you are getting to enjoy your success this year because you look damn good out there. And I think NFL scouts are going to watch that, hopefully Senior Bowl or whoever is going to see what they need to see and say, hey, we want to bring this guy in and let him show what he can do. So good job, Amar.
Yeah, there was many times again last night where he was just running through the pile, dragging guys another 3-4 yards extra.
Yep.
I mean, dudes took what he learned from the guys in front of him as far as taking care of himself, hitting the weights. He's got he's been good for the last 2 years, right? I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
He's took it up another notch, and we've seen that time and time again now at this point with our running backs. They sit behind somebody that ends up playing in the NFL, and next thing you know, here they're the next guy and just as good, basically. So we're so lucky and so spoiled. I mean, Maxwell Woods looks like an upcoming stud. Good. Kirby trucking Voorhees, he had some good plays too. That's my thing. I'm gonna call him Kirby trucking Voorhees because he gonna truck some guys. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. The one thing I love, Amar's added the stiff arm to his toolbox. We know what Kurt's talking about this year. Dave Boardwick sends us pictures, and there's quite a few pictures where Amar is putting the stiff arm on someone. So love to see it.
I think the character of Amar, I mean, that's the thing that I would call out, in terms of, like, to your point, like, being able to stick around, learn from these other guys, but then, like, step up in these types of last couple of games and just make plays. He's patient, he's smart, he's not emotional out there. I think, like, that's the leadership, like I'm saying, like, we're 3 games in, and we've had some hints of some really good things, but the team to mesh and kind of come together with a leader like him, add in Mark, Gus, Bach, all those guys. I think, it makes me feel like, with Amar stepping up to the plate like he has, good things are to come.
Zach Wilson, I've heard 4 to 6 on him. So that's what I've heard on Zach Wilson for his time frame. Angel, it sounds like Angel warmed up last night, right? And then came back out in street clothes. Chad, is that what Ben said? I did not see it, but Ben was watching. So I believe that's what he said.
I think sounds familiar. But
yeah. Ben or Alex are on the east side or the west side and kind of watch for some of that stuff. So yeah. What else for injuries? Bryce Hawthorne did not play. I had him in rants and raves. I don't know who I saw. There was some twist that the defensive line ran, and a big defensive tackle flashed on the screen and put some pressure on. So maybe it was Max Balloon. I don't know. It was a big boy. So, yeah. Who else? Oh, wrote about this in Rants and Raves. Really loved Caleb Francel, how he was just being physical and, not necessarily making the plays, but blowing up the plays on these tunnel screens and swing passes that Augie was trying to do. He was really throwing his body in there, taking on blockers so that the other guys could flow in and make the play, just disrupting enough so that the timing slowed down. So good job to Caleb. That was great to see him out there, and I'm glad he's healthy making plays.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there was a lot of to your point, some of the opportunities on defense. I don't think it was maybe a lack of, some of those guys stepping up, being physical, playing with energy, pursuit defense. And there's a lot of good things in that regard that, again, getting cleaned up, meshing a little bit is exactly what we need. And again, Amar mentioned that in the post-game comments. We just got to mesh a little bit, and it's coming.
Yeah. Chad, will you pull up Corey's comment there?
Yep, I didn't know. I thought you were going to pull it up, so I didn't. I saw you reading it. I could read your face.
So Corey Caraway says the Hogs can run block, but it still seems like Mark is still running for his life most plays. Jake, what do you think on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's got to be a level of those guys, to your point, getting the best from every team, right? They're going to scheme us. They're going to blitz us. They're going to stunt us. They're going to game us. And again, that's up to our O-line to step up to the plates and handle that. Again, I think as we kind of continue to get that experience, some of those positions, you can see it's there. And I think Mark, he's also, probably in the position as a leader and as the skills that he's put in the last couple of years. I'm not saying he's getting a little risky with some of his throws or anything like that, but I do think he's trying to make plays. He's probably putting a lot of weight on his shoulders to make plays. And I think that's probably something that as they get the experience throughout the next couple of games, we'll probably see a little bit of an improvement there from both sides. So I'm not too worried about that, but I do think it's one of those things that, that O-line's probably getting a lot of different schemes thrown at them.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. I noticed on the rewatch today that there was a couple times like one of our tight ends / H-backs got a guy coming stunting on him. And I mean, it was a physical mismatch. And so you're going to get a little bit of that guy in the backfield. We're not getting quite, I mean, let's be honest, for the past 2 years, we've been spoiled with dang near perfect play.
Yeah.
And that's not where we're at right now. That's not the team we are yet. Yet being the key word, but like our guys on the outside don't block like the Yankees quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big factor in the run game. So there's a lot of room for improvement on offense, and unfortunately, as the quarterback, the eyes are on you, and when you have maybe not your best game, and you have a couple throws go that you'd like to take back, you're the one that's going to get most of the eyes, so to speak, on you. Yeah. I'm sure Mark wasn't happy with his performance, and I don't want to dwell on it, but he wasn't the only one out there causing some of those things.
Yep. And what we talked about last week, right, with this offensive line in particular, last year's group had thousands of reps together. The starters for this group have hundreds at this point, hundreds of reps together. Last night's group,
now that we've replaced guys.
Exactly. Last night's group with William Papke, has 50 live game reps together.
And he did a great job, really.
Yeah.
I'd say my only criticisms there is when you're pulling, go put your hat on someone. Don't wait for it to happen. Just go smack them. Like he did real well. Gus played fantastically. Gus has been awesome all season. If you watch him on film, it stands out. If you're into the O-line, he's pretty solid, but kind of knew that, right?
Yep. Hey, on Pat Whitty's comment there, special teams were solid after the kickoff. Great punt coverage. Hunter Dustman, man, he is just punting. I mean, after that first punt was a little wonky, but even with that kind of
he's punting those line drives on purpose now, which is strange, but they work really well.
I mean, but it just looks like he can do what he wants. Like like punting the ball, he can do it so many different ways right now, and that is really cool. Just because it's, I don't know, it has to be a little bit frustrating for a punt returner. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I've never stood back there and tried to catch a punt, so I'm sure it's not fun, but he just looks great back there with just his control and what you can tell on the punt specifically. He's out there on a mission, and most of the time he's able to execute exactly what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And we have Dante Johnson and Matthew Durant's flying down there as the gunners, eliminating any returns, even if he mishits or doesn't, get the elevation that he wants, whatever the hang time. So
even his not perfect punts are way better than that one that the Augie kicker had. Woof. That one was, everyone was like, did that even go 10 yards? I don't know how much it went, but it wasn't far. You might have been able to tell on the broadcast, but it was not a good punt.
It wasn't good. Not Darren. Exactly. Hunter definitely has a few clubs in his bag. Perfect. Perfect. Now, thank you. I'm going to steal that. Thanks, Darren.
Yeah.
Seth Meyer asked if any word on Hagen. I did see that it sounded like he maybe got injured. I don't know how serious or anything. Coaches are typically pretty tight-lipped. We'll know a little bit more when we see the 2 deep come out this week, I imagine. Did get a chance to talk to his parents again this week. His mom was adamant that we use our poll to get names up on screens for starting lineups and faces and pictures like they used to do at North Dakota. And she says they never do it here, I guess. And I was watching the screen before when the offense came online, and there was everybody's faces. So you got what you wanted. I didn't have anything to do with it. They did it organically, but you're welcome.
That's awesome. All right.
13 yards, Jim says.
Yeah. Anything else about the game specifically, or Jake, you want to talk about Cubbies?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Cubbies, obviously big shout out to Cubbies, one of our sponsors here. I was actually able to visit Cubbies today. I had a former teammate that was staying with me and kind of visiting this afternoon, Kyle Harris, kicker for us there in the late 2000s or early around my time. And it was awesome. The cool thing about Cubbies, I will always say, is the people there. A guy like Kyle and I walk in, and the same group that some of that management will come up and say hi. They'll give you kind of the history story. My wife's there. I got two little kids, a 3 and a 2-year-old girl, just running around, chasing each other. Guys are watching the football games, and they were just laughing. They were having a great time with it. So great atmosphere, obviously, not only for families, but for watching a game. But then obviously just the relationships and the people at Cubbies, them coming up and just recognizing and having the desire to come and say hi to Kyle and I. Kyle visiting from St. Louis. Hasn't come back to a ton of games the last couple of years. You'll see him in Frisco every year, going hard, but Brookings is a little harder trip for him. But and it was just great. So again, huge shout out to Cubbies. Thank you for the sponsorship. But again, gotta love that place every time you go there.
Yeah, and I just want to say, Cubbies, when they first came on board last year for sponsorship, it was cool because we all have so many good memories in Cubbies, whether it's 21st birthdays or before or after games or watch party for big NFL games or dates or whatever it may be. Yesterday, Dallas took a picture for us, and they have a JI flag flying in there. Now we gave them one of the white JI flags for their sponsorship, and it just means a lot to have them as a sponsor. So thank you, Gus and crew, for your sponsorship. It's pretty damn cool. And 21-year-old Matt could not imagine that Cubbies would, and want to be a sponsor of anything Matt would do. So thank you very much.
And the way they embraced things last year with the JI Italian nachos, if we want to call them that was awesome though.
I know. Yeah, totally.
Big props to him for helping with the Alex's Lemonade stand. Yeah. I don't know if we got people going down to the game in Hammond, America, as they like to call it, as Brendan points out, Hammond, Louisiana. But the boys Stone and Kevin are going to have a tailgate down there for Alex's Lemonade stand. So if we do have parents or whatever going down there, check it out. They're good guys to talk to. They have a lot of knowledge on the subdivision, and go put a lemon on your head and get Northwestern Mutual to donate, $10 for that. So,
hey, there we go. Awesome. So game balls, fellas. We all did really bad on our picks last week. Really bad.
Especially my score prediction.
Yeah, score predictions were bad. For offense, just go through it here quick. Offense, I said Gormley. Jake, you said Chase Mason. Chad, Voorhees, Dallas Angel. So I think we had 3 guys that didn't play.
No, Voorhees.
Voorhees played. Defense, we had Van Tol, DePriest, and Van Tol. Van Tol had a big penalty, but you did see some flashes. Man, he flashes. He's going to be a good one. DePriest, I didn't see as much. He was on the field a lot.
Yeah. He's very solid, and getting 2 guys on him the entire time. So
yeah,
that's what I saw. He had 2 guys on him most of the game.
So I'm guessing if you didn't read Rants and Raves, but you listened to this, you know who I'm going to pick. Offense, I went Amar Johnson. Any objections to Amar?
Nope. Great pick.
I know who I'm choosing, but
who are you choosing, Chad?
I'm going with Gus. Gus had a great game. He had some awesome blocks.
All right. Defensively, I went with Dawson Rip. So I went with Rip on that just for responding and doing what we said. I want, called him out by name. I wanted to see him flash this week. He had to be the guy. We needed him, and he responded well. So, Rip, any objections there? Or any others?
That's a good one. I mean, the circus catch on the interception, number 2-2, has been having a day every game. So he gets some flowers from me, so to speak. That's what the kids are saying these days.
Yep, gets flowers. There we go. Yeah, that's a good one, Chad. Definitely not a mid idea. All right, and then on special teams, I went Hunter Dustman. There wasn't much else. It had to be Hunter Dustman. So
Hunter had a good game, really.
Pitching wedge was on target.
All right, perfect.
Might have been a 5-iron. Huh? It's pretty flat.
Yeah.
Good call.
All right, Chad, you want to talk Northwestern Mutual quick for us?
Sure can. I was just talking about Northwestern Mutual. Northwestern Mutual is a one-stop shop for all your investment and family planning needs as far as life insurance. Go to them. They'll get you set up with a good plan. They have solid advisors. The way they do their business is much the way it should be ran. Thank you for the help there, Matt. They'll get you set up with a financial plan so that you can look forward to retirement and know that you're going to get there. So Chris Schenkel's down here in Sioux Falls, along with some of our other guys have been down here. See that crew if you want. Otherwise, if you're in a different area, I'm sure Chris could point you in the right direction if he doesn't cover your area. So Northwestern Mutual down in Sioux Falls. They're also the title sponsor of the Alex's Lemonade Stand challenge in the FCS. We haven't officially heard who our guy is, but it's going to be Mark. So that's just my guess.
Oh gosh.
And we raised $414 yesterday at the tailgate with pudding shots, which is amazing.
So what's your 2-week total now then?
Well,
sorry to put you on the spot, Chad.
No, that's fine. $715. So
wow,
it's easy math. 301 and 414. So, if we keep that up, that's awesome. I mean, we had one person drop a $50 bill in there. I thank that person. I don't normally pay any attention to really what anybody puts in because it doesn't matter. It's about, if you make a $1 donation, it's awesome. Every dollar counts. But some of those big donations really help. And so I appreciate that person doing that. And I know that person knows who they are. So thank you for that. And I mean, who doesn't want to fight childhood cancer? And Northwestern Mutuals really took that on and has been doing a lot with that. They raised $45,000 last year, and we were a big part of that. So kudos.
Wow.
Keep up,
Chad. That is awesome on the pudding shots, man. So
yeah. I mean, well, it's not me, man. I just like, hey guys, we're doing this. We're fighting. Yeah. We're leading the fight against childhood cancer. Who's for that? No one. So if you got a few dollars cash on you, maybe you want to donate. Maybe you don't. If you want a pudding shot, have one. They're because people keep saying, well, how much are they? There's no cost. It's what do you want to donate? And that's why $5, $2, $50 doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's talk some SELA, some Southeast Louisiana football. Let's talk about them.
SELA. Yeah, they go by SLU, but
I know,
it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Like they should go back to SELA. Come on.
Yeah.
And Jim says that Mark's officially on the website now, so I'm not divulging anything there.
Well, good. All right, so they come in with 2 FBS losses and a big win this week against Eastern Washington, who is really reeling. And you really have to think that Eastern Washington's head coach, Bess, right? Aaron Bess is on the hot seat out there. Man alive. Tough times out there in Eastern Washington for a really proud program. But they lose, or Southeastern Louisiana wins 28-24 at home in front of 5,000 fans. So kind of interesting down there. Their 2 losses, like I said, were at Tulane and at Southern Mississippi. Tulane in the opening week, they lost 0-52, and they got ran all over in that one. And then against Southern Miss, they lost 10-35. It was a more competitive game, but Southern Miss just pulled away and really a balanced attack in that one. And then they kind of held Eastern Washington down on the ground, but they got thrown all over. So I'm not 100% sure what to expect in this one. The second half has not been kind to these guys. They've been outscored 55-7 in their 3 contests in the second half. So kind of crazy there. Initial impressions of these guys.
Oh boy, it's hard to get one based on the results and who they've played. That's what I can tell you. I watched the first. I was only really able to take in the first quarter of that Eastern Washington game, and it had a weird feel about it too. Kind of like our game had a weird feel last week. I think we're going to be able to run all over them. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I think I think we are going to be able to run. Their safeties and their corners have good speed. They play like typically a 4-3 with two high safeties. Their safeties have good speed. I imagine the corners do too. Wasn't really able to see that, but I think if we can block well with our wide receivers on the outside, Amar and the boys are going to have a day. And I guess that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the matchup, if you look at them from exactly your point, their opportunity on defense, being our run game, where we've excelled so far, kind of a strong suit of ours this season. And then you add in, the idea from their offense, it looks like, running the ball a lot, kind of a big game from the running back last week. So I think our guys on that side, you would look at the way we handled Ollie Gordon. Hopefully something that, we can kind of travel down here again and step up and do the same thing. I mean, it's not going to be easy travel. It's, to your point, it'd be an interesting experience. It's a long travel, and you got 5,000 fans. It's going to be a good matchup for us to kind of step up to the plate and see really where we're at. But like I said, a Jimmy Rogers coach team with the leadership that we have, Mark, Gus, Bach, everybody, I think this will be a great kind of test for us this week.
So I printed out their game notes and their depth chart. Their running back, is this right?
Pretty good. He's
listed at 6'3", 260 on their depth chart. That can't be right.
That big in the backfield when I watched it.
That has to be a typo. Like that has to be a typo. So I'm gonna have to go look him up because that's kind of funny if it's true.
But I think I saw somewhere in one of the game notes that they had, like they're one of only 3 teams in the last 5 years that have ended the season ranked between us and North Dakota State, like the last 5 years. So again, something to think about in terms of the quality of program. I don't think they're by any means a slouch of a program.
Dustin says they have 3 running backs. He's 2 of them. So okay, maybe he was on the field and I missed it, but they were talking about him on the broadcast, and he didn't look that big to me, but I only have one good eye, so who knows?
Chad. Oh goodness, buddy. Yeah. All right. I'm kind of expecting us to be able to move the ball how we want. I would expect a game plan. There was some question whether or not there was actually a much of an offensive install against Augustana. I would sure hope if that's true, we don't do it again.
We did seem discombobulated. That's all I can say. Right. Like we could not find any sort of rhythm outside of our running game was pretty good. So
yeah. Yep. So I just hope that, we do see a good mix of pass and run. And I do think we're going to be successful moving the ball either way. I'm looking for this guy on their actual roster, Harlan Dixon.
Oh, that's not the one that I was hearing.
Yeah.
About.
So Harlan Dixon, number 3. Who is this other guy? Seth Adams, 88. He must be a tight end. He's a tight end. Yeah, he's a tight end. It's just on their roster. It has HB, halfback, listed by it. We're good, folks. Mystery solved. But he does. Yeah. Whooped up.
I was like, if there was a 6'3" or 6'4" guy in the backfield, I think I'd notice. But
yeah, right.
No, they had a quick, shifty guy that they had back there. Anyway.
Their stats from last week said Antonio Martin at 28
That's it.
attempts, 149 yards.
Yeah.
On his roster, sophomore, 5'11", 220.
Yeah,
so
which is
I would assume that's your guy.
Yeah. He's
no, I'm an idiot, guys. I'm an idiot, but we knew that.
Hey, we all make mistakes.
It's an H-back, not a halfback. Oh my gosh. All right. Woo. Mystery solved. That's the problem. I'm going to sit out the rest of the episode. You guys can take it away from here.
Well, we're at the 55-minute mark. We don't got much longer to go, do we?
Is this garage time? Yeah.
I think we're squarely in garage time now.
So defensively, though, it looks like, they run a 4-2-5, right? They have a star position player, Cameron Ford. He's going to be all over the place. They do look smaller. So looking at that, size-wise, Their will is 195. Their middle linebackers 220. That star is 200, and then their safeties are both 200. So little smaller. Up front, 255, 280, 260, and 230. Their starters go. So running the ball, this could be a chance for the Hogs to eat. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they're going to commit some guys to the box though and actually make us throw the ball. After if they watch the Augustana game, they're going to say you guys can't throw the ball. We'll see.
Tight ends, good opportunity for our tight ends. Step in.
There you go.
Yeah.
The game.
We got some good ones.
Yeah, that's
as
what
we hear.
Graham. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do we want to do predictions or anything else to say about this one? Or no, we got Jake.
Predictions.
We got to do Jake. No, we have to. That's what we do.
I know.
Jake, I've been seeing questions about 605 Hogs t-shirts. And also people have been talking about shirts with the trees on them, like the North End Zone trees. Where can people get these shirts?
Yeah, so through the JFPA website, we do have the opportunity for people to just buy some of those shirts. We have a great partner with Dobby's in Sioux Falls that is working with us and getting those printed and taken care of. We can share that link to that website probably some way through this, and then people can get access. There you go. I love it. So I think that's the opportunity to do that. Some great things. Obviously, the 605 Hog shirts are going like crazy. Some shirts for Hobo Day and USD are coming up. I think there'll be some good things there. And again, with the JFPA, there's always that idea that the greater cause is for the team. It's giving back to the players. It's giving back to the team. Direct line to Coach Rogers, but then also bigger picture. We have the family fund, an investment fund. The family fund's a great story. If you look at the situation, this shirt right here that I'm wearing right now, Matt Anderson again talked about him and that terrible tragedy and the ability to support his family. That's kind of the idea that, as a former player, you get this brotherhood of guys that's going to take care of you beyond life. And so I think that's kind of a cool thing to support the JFPA for and continue to do that. We actually have a flyover for Matt Anderson for military appreciation coming up, so that'll be really cool to see as well. But anybody wants to get involved in the JFPA, feel free to reach out. We're happy to support. And again, having that connection to the players currently and former players is an awesome place to kind of keep that family tradition that Coach Stig established going.
Any luck so far with finding a smoker or a barrel to make into a smoker?
Yeah, I think they got some options. Now we just got to get the guys that are interested in doing it, getting enough time to put it together. I'm not going to call out names or anything, but we'll get it done. I think they're making some progress there. Tailgate sponsors, though, if anybody ever wants to be involved in that, our tailgate's been great the last couple of weeks. Wow, I think between the parents and the JFPA has just been really fun to have. A lot of people stop by, and so everyone want to be involved in that, sponsor anything like that, just let us know. Definitely interested in the tailgate TVs. You guys see that big TV that came in? That was awesome.
Zach, the guy that helped us out with our deal down in Frisco, helped you guys out and got you the screen this year.
That was sweet. That was
cool.
Awesome. So yeah, awesome stuff.
Cool. All right. Time for predictions. Thank you, JFPA. Appreciate the support. All right. Offensively, I mean, I can't keep picking Amar because it's
you can.
I mean,
it's working.
I haven't picked actually Amar, but but I pick him at the end every week, so I should. And I keep picking the tight ends, and I almost just picked another tight end. You know what? I'm going to pick Amar. I'm finally picking Amar here, believing in him from the start.
Do I get to go next?
Yeah, Chad, you're next.
In honor of Dallas Clarkson, I'm going to pick GFW.
Because he has bad Wi-Fi on his plane. All right. And Jake, what do you got?
I'm leaning into them kind of leaning into and hogging the box here a little bit and opening up the tight ends and Graham. So I'm going to go Graham as offense.
Okay. Yeah, Dallas, get your pick in instead of making fun of me here.
Yeah.
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
he's
Dallas
going
is
with me.
Yeah, Dallas is taking Chad for his player of the
Yeah.
game. And Dallas,
Yeah.
just send in your defensive player of the game too while you're at it.
Yeah, might as well.
All right. Jake, who you got for defense?
Kobe Claiborne. I think, again, he's been stepping up. Good game. The way they run the ball, I think it'll give a good opportunity for us to kind of shut them down with that defensive line. And again, he's hit a great game yesterday. So,
okay. Sounds good. Chad?
I'm gonna go with our middle linebacker. He was pretty good this week, but I think he steps it up and really has a lot of tackles this coming week. And Jim's going with the other linebacker at the law firm, Graham Spalding.
And I'm going with the other one, Caleb Prinzel. So
there you go.
Yep.
Guess it's gonna be Colby on defense for
which
Dallas.
Kobe? There's 3 of them. Dallas.
They're spelled differently.
I know.
Sorry.
I don't know. Kobe Humphrey. Oh, we're gonna say Humphrey because that's what. There we go.
Yeah, we're giving you Humphrey. That's the
Chris
one.
Howard's answering it for you. Sorry, Dallas. All right. Thanks, Chris Howard, for taking care of Dallas's work there. All right. And a score. Chad, score.
Oh, this is kind of a get right game, isn't it? I feel like it gotta be. We're gonna go 46-23.
I don't like that score for them, Chad. I don't think Jimmy would like that score.
No.
No, sometimes you get lucky. They got some southern speed, as the Kevster likes to say.
Oh, my goodness.
There you go.
They might get lucky and return one.
Eastern Washington only let them score 28. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. You got a point.
And,
okay.
Can't pull it back now.
Fine,
can't pull it back now. It's locked in.
Make it 17, Matt. You got pen.
Dallas said 42-18. Dallas said 42-18.
Pat White agrees, though.
All right, Jake, what do you got?
35-10. I think, again, defense, 10 points, not too bad. I think we've been playing well, and hopefully our offense, 35, not a high scoring, but I think just travel, the road, the atmosphere. 35-10.
All right. I am going to go.
Just trying to be not too into it. You know what I mean?
I'm going to go 34-7. 34-7.
Nice.
So that's what I'm thinking. All right, Seth, 37-20. Man, you guys, our defense, I don't see that. Oh.
I think this is a little reactionary from maybe being a little overconfident on the last one. And that's what I was trying to do, I guess.
Okay. Takes a village. All right. Dallas still hasn't predicted an offensive player. So we are going to go.
He went with me. He agrees.
Yeah, we're going with Chad. Yeah. So if he's going with you, that means he's predicting William Papke, right? Is your favorite player? So
number
Papke,
7-7.
Yep. Dallas. Yep. Papke.
Lucky
Perfect.
sevens.
Perfect. All right. I'll go all out. 42-10. Good guys. Sorry, Dallas. Too late. It's already in. Yeah. Mark. Okay.
Dallas is like the new guy when he's away. You get blamed for everything. We're just gonna stuff you with whatever we want. But
what's the winner get at the end of the season with these records? Are we figured that out yet?
A nice crisp high five.
Yeah, putting
shots side by side from Kubota.
Side by side from Kubota.
We'll have to talk to the Kubota dealers of South Dakota and see what they can work out. But I bet
there you go.
You a deal.
There we go. I do need to talk to him about a tiller to pull behind my BX 2680 because we want to expand our pumpkin patch because we are selling our pumpkins like hotcakes here, and we've been told to get the white ones and the green ones.
Yeah, the Lunas.
I don't know.
That's the white ones.
Yeah.
We had a pumpkin out that we planted out in our garden, but mysteriously the pumpkin seeds from last year that must have just when my wife kicked the pumpkin off the deck ended up in our front yard landscaping. It has took over our entire front yard. And we have a couple pumpkins that are this big. I kid you not. They're giant. And the plant is like kudzu. Our entire front yard is You got to see it. I'll have to take a picture and send it to you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They got leaves on them like this too. It's
anyway. Jim Poppins says the winner should get a raise.
I 100% raise.
Jim, the only person who has ever gotten a raise is Alex, because he nailed his prediction on NDSU Colorado. Like, you'll have to go back to that first episode of Scared Money and listen to that. He like Nostradamus that crap. Like, he predicted everything that was going to happen in Scared Money Don't Make Money in that game. So crazy. So, all right, we're in garage time here.
Squarely, 5 minutes.
Jackrabbit Bar Network. If you have a bar with another road game coming here, if you have a bar or know of a bar that is going to show the Jackrabbit game, let us know. We will get it added to our website. If you are a Jackrabbit fan attending the game down in Hammond, America, let Kevin and Stone know. They are doing some sort of party down there, and they want to meet you. They want Jackrabbit fans
it's
down
for
there.
Alex's Lemonade stand.
Yeah, it's for Alex's Lemonade stand. They know how great you are. They've tailgated with us in Frisco. They love Jackrabbits. They've come to the book club before with Chad. Had a great time.
And Brendan
and Brendan and all that. But Brendan's not here, so I don't want to talk about him, Chad.
I just don't want to be. It's not just me, right?
It's Chad's tailgate, guys. Brendan and Ben don't matter.
Well, I mean,
the hair raisers, they don't matter. Right.
The hair raisers, we joined them.
So. Yeah, but they don't need to know that. And then the flags, the white flags. We've been selling white flags like hotcakes. So if you want a white flag, we'll be at the next home game. So let us know.
How many of them we got left?
I don't know. I don't have them. Ben has them. Right? Or do you have them?
Well, someone has them. No, Ben has them, and
okay.
I think we sold 2 or 3 last tailgate. So
perfect. All right. Is Brendan still alive with Borg?
Dude, Borg's rant was the best. And then they're like, oh, Brendan's like, you've only been going for 3 minutes. I don't think the timer resets. And I'm like, oh, it definitely does. He's been on for like 9 already.
Yeah. All right. We're good. Jake, anything to add?
No. I think, again, to be honest, it's been fun to see, kind of the optimism here with what we got going. I think this is the week that, I think somebody just commented, this is the week we kind of gel nicely and kind of get it off. And Amar mentioned that, it's just opportunity to mesh here. So I'm excited. I think this will be a fun week. I'm excited to pay attention to the game a little bit more. I get sort of distracted in home games. My wife just laughs at me. She's like, you've talked to 75 people in 10 minutes. I'm like, I don't know. I just bounce off. So it'll be fun to just kind of lean in, watch the game, really gel in that regard. So I'm excited. This will be a great week.
Yeah, should be fun. I did really enjoy being home and just getting to watch so many FCS games this week. It was fun to be able to do that. So, but I did miss tailgating as well. So, Chad, anything?
Did you enjoy the USD game?
Yeah, right. I was too busy playing Oregon Trail. No, so no.
Somebody died of dysentery, huh?
Yeah, right.
Did they comment on if that'll affect playoffs yet, or
it absolutely could. I mean, if you look at their schedule, they have to beat either us or NDSU and Southern Illinois, and like both, like one of the two plus a second one, right? So in order to get a 7-win, they're gonna have a tough time. I think if they drop one, and plus North Dakota, they play North Dakota too, which is that must be in the Dakota dump this year, right?
Has to be, right?
Has to be.
I'm not sure, but all right. All right, guys. You're funny. Yeah. All right. With that, go big, go blue, go
Jacks.